alive. I haven't been fucked to death by koalas. So stick it up your ass, Steve. It's really good to see someone while we're all on lockdown. That's it. It's always sort of been there, the women's game, but it's been ignored. So they're fucking scared. I mean, look at Steve Robinson. Since he talked about his parents in the first episode, he basically lied since then because he's too afraid. He doesn't have the guts that Kirk has. Boom. Happy Friday, everybody. And just want to put it out there straight away. No Timothy Fax tonight, so I'm sure a lot of the Fax fans will be upset, but he's not around for this episode. Good evening. We're on the eve of a Socko show. At the moment, I am getting information from the Steve Robinson documentary screaming. I'm hearing, well, a lot about it. And someone said I should have flown over for it. It's so incredible. So I cannot wait to hear the fallout from this. Can't wait to see the documentary. I imagine it's just so weird and bad and so Steve that it is going to provide a lot of laughs for the Minifans. It looked particularly sad on the footage I've seen from like Twitter. You can only see bits and pieces, but I mean, it's just embarrassing. You've got all these, psycho right-wing rednecks out there to watch Steve. There's hardly anyone there. Kirk did the right thing. I think he went on stage and he sort of introduced the video. He was doing some stuff with Steve. So, although Steve really tried to fuck over the Minifans, and although he, intervened tonight and made sure there was no mic in the Minifans, at least Kirk has done the right thing and supported it a little bit. Kirk is the nicest, the greatest, but it just looks embarrassing. I've got John on stage. John, how are you?
I'm well, and you?
Very good. Geez, you got hammered today for not organising a mic in the Minifans on the eve of Socko. But you're used to it, aren't you now? Disappointing people.
Organize this instead of mic in the Minifans.
Good. Now, can you do me a favor? What I want you to do is we're obviously going to take calls, and can you monitor the comments for any questions? Because I think we'll try and interact with the chat tonight. So if you've got a question and you can't call in, I know there's some Minifans out there who just can't afford a phone bill. So just put your questions in the chat, and we can reply that way. But yeah, crazy build up to Socko. I mean, it has been very muted. I'm hearing very little buzz within the Minifan community. I'm hearing, well, there was nothing on the main show. I don't even know if Dave Culline's heading up on Saturday night. I assume he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just decided to hang at home with the nurse. What was her name? Nurse Kim, indeed. Yeah. And good on him. But yeah, very muted build up. Not a lot of buzz at all. But Kirk has always said these shows are just a kind of it's a regular show, but it's an excuse for the Minifans to get together. It's not a big theatre show. But there hasn't been a lot of inducement to encourage people to drive to Socko. But maybe they've sold enough tickets that don't mind.
Yeah. I said that going into this show. It seems like there wasn't a lot of promotion for it, maybe because the tickets were sold and they were happy with it, but it's like it wasn't a lot of promotion going into it. And then they had this Steve thing today. I would have expected Mike to have his own live mic in the Minifans, a guy who's desperate.
Well, I told you what happened. Steve Robinson begged him not to do it.
Yeah.
He said to him, and Steve knew that if there was an alternative activity tonight, the Minifans would have taken it. I mean, let's just go through this timeline again. Steve Robinson put the tickets on sale at $100 each per car, woefully overpriced. He incredibly misjudged the market. It was a terrible from him to think that Minifans would pay that. So then he backpedals and he drops it to $50. And then he backpedals even more because probably no one bought tickets. He had a code for KMS fans to get it for $25. That's how desperate he was. And in that video from the KMS Twitter account, you can only see about 10 cars. And I feel sorry for any fucker there that paid $100 for it.
You're a stallion.
So anyway, I can't. I'm really looking forward to
Steve busting out just thinking like, yo, we're going to have a live show at like, it's hard to fill a drive-in theater. It's not easy. Like that's a big open field. Like
absolutely. Do you want to open the phone lines? Do you want to put the number up?
Sure. The phone lines are open. I will get the number. Banners. There we go. We're live. We're good.
And we've got a lot of a few questions there, but we'll get to the questions soon. I guess where do we start with this week? I guess what we'll do is I'll take a cue from Facts and PRC, and we'll go through the week chronologically, day by day, topic by topic, the way they did on the main show. So I guess on Tuesday, the first topic that Dave Cullinane brought up for KMS was P. Diddy being arrested. Clearly, that's what we tune into KMS for, is to hear Kirk react to that news.
I mean, and that's arguably that's the story you should talk about. Come on.
Oh, bullshit. I mean, as if if that's the first thing you should bring up after 4 days off.
No.
That's Cullinane bringing up the first topic that was on the headlines. He just pulled up USA Today. Anyway, caller.
We got 2 callers. First one, 843.
843.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, I just have a question. I'm still new to the world, and soccer seems like a big deal. But why is Steve Robinson involved at all? I'm gonna hang up and listen.
Thanks for the call.
Did he say why is Steve Robinson involved at all?
Involved at all.
It's a good question. I've thought that from the beginning. I've thought that from the time he was hired as producer of KMS. But I guess, caller, and we'd love to hear from you, because he was the original producer of KMS, he holds a special place in Kirk's heart. He literally built that shitty studio with his own hands.
Well, him and Kirk are partners.
What was that?
Him and Kirk are partners.
Yes. But I would say I asked that question from the very beginning. Why is Steve involved? And I'm still asking that question. He never should have been. He was not a right fit. But yeah, good call. Next caller.
Can I answer it quick?
Oh, okay. John Live.
Why wouldn't you, when the Minifans are going to be up there already and you're trying to get people through that door? That's like a no-brainer for Steve.
It's a no-brainer for Steve, but I think the caller's wondering why Kirk is entertaining this schmuck.
Anonymous, you're up.
Anonymous, you're on Menace Live.
The Stallion.
Went pretty hard the other night.
It's good. Anonymous. Can't hear you. All right. Good call. Call back in.
One of the better calls. All right, so
I think Kirk was definitely going, no matter what, like if Steve asked to do something like this, he's definitely going to say yes. $100 ticket thing kind of then took him and brought him right on the other side of Kirk's goodwill, I think. And then here we are today.
And I think Steve trying to stop a Mike in the Minifans, no, it was pretty low. I think that's pretty low.
619.
619, you're with Menace. Hi, where are you calling from, caller? Hung up.
Yeah. Callers, we are huge defenders of callers, trying to get them to call into the show. They've stunk lately.
I thought the calls were pretty good. Didn't they take them on Tuesday or Wednesday?
One of the days they did.
With Tim, Wednesday.
Yeah.
They were good. So I thought, I sort of went through a bit of introspection this week with the show. And I'm sorry for those of you who watch Meeting of the Minds. I'm going to recycle some of my takes from that, but no one watches that. So
a lot.
But I thought this week was perfectly average. And I put this out on Twitter. I thought Tuesday's show was a 4 out of 10. I thought Wednesday's show was a 4 out of 10. And then I thought Ted and Mike brought it home with an 8 out of 10 show. So if you add that up, that's 16 out of 30. So that's a pass mark. It's not a week that will live in our memories as being a great week of KMS. But what podcasts have the highs that KMS does? So I'm trying to be a better Minifan. And
please add extra.
Oops, sorry.
Was that a call or
caller? I just put him on mute though.
Okay, well let's speak to the caller. Hello, caller.
619.
619.
619. We just heard you. Now we don't.
All right. Anyway, so this is it was a perfectly fine week for KMS, and this is exactly what you can expect under Dave Mid-Range Cullinane. It is just going to be a fine show. Dave is likable enough. He's smart enough to be able to read, headlines from a newspaper and then see if any of them will twig with Kirk. But it's not going to be it's not going to be there are going to be episodes where it's just like it was on Tuesday or Wednesday. A few yucks, a bit of fucking around, but zero thought put into it. I mean, that Peltz booking was one of the worst bookings in the show history. Last time Peltz was in, he was a disaster. This Tuesday, he was terrible. He's got nothing to say. He's got no opinions. He's not funny. Okay, the fact that he said that thing about Steve's from Gloucester's daughter kind of saved his appearance, but do we need our guests to resort to pedophilia for them to save their appearances on KMS? I mean, I think that's a bit of a tough spot. Anonymous, you're with me.
Hey, Menners, what's going on?
I'm doing really well. It's 11:12 a.m. on Saturday morning Sydney time. Sun's out. Sun's out. Guns out.
Let's go.
Fit check.
Excellent. Couple points here. Number one, do you think Ted Sellers is funny?
Yes, 100%.
Best fourth chair.
Do you know who also thinks Ted Sellers is funny?
Oh, God, I hope it's not Osama bin Laden, right?
Who?
Ted Sellers. I mean, the guy can finish a sentence before he laughs at his own jokes. I've never seen anything like it. I love the guy, but that laugh is tough, and he laughs at all of his own jokes.
He does have an adorable little laugh, though, but I think maybe that is a good coaching point for Ted. He does laugh at himself before some of his jokes get out, but I think he has hilarious jokes.
I like somebody that finds their own jokes
I have
funny.
a direct question for you.
Yes. Can I just on Ted, though?
Do you realize if go ahead.
I'm just going to say,
ask for calls and then you just talk over us. Go ahead.
All right, give us your question. I'll talk about Ted later then.
Caller, and then we'll let Menners rant later.
Go on.
All right. So do you understand if Turk takes this Netflix deal
Who?
and the show goes away, the massive void that everyone will be wanting to a piece of something, they'll want that show. I am saying this with all seriousness. If you drop all of the other shitty cricket, finance, podcasts that you do, and you dedicate yourself to a Patreon 4 days a week and bring in all of the talent, all of the characters from the Kirkman show, people will pay big money for that. Have you considered it if the show goes away?
It's a really good question. I mean, yes, absolutely. I thought this week that if Kirk were... Well, I actually didn't think about what you were doing as like doing a Patreon and all that stuff. I actually just thought about like going and sitting in the chair, like, I just replace Kirk, and so Carl goes off with Kirk to Netflix, and they do the case season 3, and Justin and I stay in Watertown, and the show just rolls on.
Beautiful.
But and I actually, it's interesting you brought this up, and it's been a very fleeting thought of mine, not a serious thought. But should I professionalize Menners Live? Do I get do I start a Patreon? Do I try and make it a regular, a proper endeavor where it's, financially viable? It's not just mailing it in like I do now. Should I start a GoFundMe or a Patreon for Menners Live? But yeah, caller, I would if I think I could replace Kirk. Definitely. And then I guarantee if I replace Kirk, you would get a lot of 4 out of 10 shows. 4 out of 10 would be a good day, but it'd be better than nothing.
Anonymous.
Hey there, Manners. Have you thought about fisting your pussy instead of hosting a show, you fag?
Oh, don't say that.
Wow. I don't know if that was a question or a statement.
I think it was more of
John's doing really well getting the comments and the questions from the chat.
Oh,
He's
I have
doing
a
really
couple.
well.
Would Justin carry you up those big stairs?
Well, I have to say, every time I see Justin do that to Ted, I hold my breath. Because let's be honest, if Justin fell, Ted's probably dead. That's it. I'm sure there's some workplace health and safety issues with that. But no, he wouldn't. Last time I walked up the stairs fine. Me and Kirk basically hand in hand walked up the stairs together.
Are
No
you able
problem.
to go up one stair at a time, or do you have to do 2 feet on one stair?
Just depends. Like if you get those really big stairs,
The long one?
yeah, I have to do it both feet at a time.
Do you think Roan's case pitch could have any legs?
Didn't watch that video.
Yeah, I didn't either. I don't know.
There's a lot of other questions, but anyway.
Well, which ones? And I'll put them up.
Dave Scott, Menas, have you had any sexual experiences recently? Yes, I have.
There you go. What about dates?
I've been getting to know the Asian community lately. Yeah.
Where's Kane?
Where's Kane? Hopefully living his life. Living his life. As he said on 3 Up, 3 Down, he's in a new relationship himself. So he's probably having a fantastic time with his new lover.
Justin Grace said, does anyone have any questions for him?
No.
So put those in the comments. If you
Yeah,
have.
good stuff. So let's go back to Tuesday's show. I thought some strengths of it were, I love the Bradfo bit where they read out Bradfo's piece about Joe Castig. And I'm a huge Bradfo guy. You know, my Mount Rushmore of Boston sports media talent has always been Kirk 1, Bradfo 2, or Maz 2, Bradfo 3, and then Mutt was 4th, but now he's been evicted he's been evicted from my Mount Rushmore. So I love the Bradfo bit, and I thought actually what Bradfo wrote was fantastic. I thought it was a moving piece about, you know, what Joe Castig has done, even though he's an average broadcaster. I thought what Rob was able to do was really good. And but yeah, Peltz was just a fucking disaster. And that's just the epitome of why Cullinane is a dog shit lazy producer. And this is what I don't like about rehiring him, is it gives him a free pass to behave the way he behaved before. Because as I understand it, there's been no mea culpa from Cullinane. There's been no...
say it gives him a free pass to even be worse than that, because now he's on his own terms.
He knows what he can get away with. There's been no mea culpa where he's been like, okay, I let the opportunity slip in the past. I'm going to do a better job this time. It's just, and you know, it's why you shouldn't get back with your ex-girlfriends and why you shouldn't hire a producer again. And I think what you do as, and you know, this is probably where Mayo would be really good, because he's really good with this leadership stuff. But, you know, Kirk as a leader, you know, by taking Cullinane back, you are giving a message to everyone that mediocrity is okay, that just cruising along is okay. So you're saying to Justin and Quidditch Guy and all the people at Barstool, you can just check in, do the bare minimum, and you'll not only have a job, but if you leave, you'll get your job back. And that's what's disappointing. And I think for all the people that are worried about Cole, that Peltier was the prime example of just a lazy booking. You know, it was Cullinane getting one of his friends in. You know, there are 50 better people than Peltier in studio.
We lost him.
So very disappointing.
Most impatient caller in the world. Like, we'll get to you, 619.
You can put them on if you need to. Well,
I did that one time, and then I usually put them on and mute them until you're done. But then they hang up when I do that. It's like this is.
I think they're just trying to fuck with you, and I appreciate the attempt. So that's why that booking annoyed me. You know, that's just low hanging fruit, Cullinane. That's all Cullinane is, low hanging fruit guy. You know, and that's why TikTok is perfect for him, because it's just, you know, 30 seconds, a minute of him just, you know, grabbing the nearest low hanging fruit and running with it. And all right, caller
508.
508. Hello. What are you up to? What are you wearing?
He's gone. I can't imagine that guy was wearing anything.
So, but yeah, I love the Bradford. It's a Tuesday 4 out of 10 show. Then Wednesday.
Wait, before that.
Oh yeah, caller.
I have a question for you now.
Yes.
Is this a show you're jealous you're not at, this Sacco show?
I'm jealous I'm not at every show.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'm jealous I'm not at every Minifan event there is. I mean, I would be at Mohegan Sun every Thursday with Justin. I would be at everything. I would be at everything all the time. I would be,
Before you get into Wednesday, we got a caller, and it's
Kirk would turn up at Watertown and to be hanging out the front with a Dunkin' Donuts coffee and one of those everything bagels they do at Dunkin' Donuts. That was one of my go-to breakfasts when I was.
Oh yeah, you like everything bagels?
When I was over there a couple of years ago.
570. Again, that's my area code. It can only be one person. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can we shit can Jake? I see enough of him on your stupid fucking
that
network.
I don't like when he just laughs like that too.
He's an idiot. Yeah, he's an idiot. I did meet a girl recently who has family in Boston, which would be convenient.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
But that's the other thing is like people say, man, has just come. Like I actually need like a visa and stuff. Like it's illegal for me to work in America as it's.
We're taking this call 619.
I'd like to order dos burritos today, one with carne asada and one with carnitas. Please add extra onions and cilantro. I would like this order to go for Roberto.
Okay.
Thank you. Done. Do you want fries with that?
It's a Mexican joint. They don't have fries.
Well, they have fries here at our Mexican joints.
Chips. You get chips and dip.
Well, you can get both here. They do fries and corn chips.
That's because Australians know nothing about Mexico. Why would they give you fries? They can't grow potato. What are you thinking?
You just said Mexicans can't grow potatoes.
Definitely can't.
You don't think there's any potatoes in Mexico?
I'm not going to say definitely, but I would say there's a high likelihood.
I disagree.
Okay. Someone look that up. One?
But you're right. Corn chips are the go-to Mexican.
The blue ones, too. We just got Mexican food delivered here today. I have a fajito waiting for me.
You can eat if you want while you're producing. I'll let it go. Do you have any more callers or can I?
Nope. Go ahead. You're on
What
Wednesday.
was it? Wednesday. What else was I talking about?
Oh,
yeah. So I've just been thinking about it. So, yes. Should I start a Patreon for Manners Live? And if KMS stops, should I at the very least make Manners Live? Like,
oh, you froze.
Backpack it.
You froze.
Yeah.
You have the concern looking. You were frozen. You're frozen.
Am I not?
And you're coming back.
Still frozen?
You're coming back. It's coming. We're coming.
Yeah, I would need to get better internet if I wanted to do Manners Live from Australia to replace KMS.
Do they have better internet there that like you're missing out on?
I would go to Starlink and get Elon Musk's internet.
Oh, there you go.
Because that'd be my workaround.
614, you're up.
Hey, it's Luke. Just calling to let you guys know that my phone's on.
Okay.
Thanks, Luke. Take care, buddy.
570.
Hello, mate.
How's it going?
It's on now. Yeah. Got a
What a
Can you get? Is that Jake again? Because I can't hear what you're saying.
Turn the show off when he calls into the show. That's the most.
This is one of John's friends, by the way. This is like John's best friend in Scranton.
What do you want me to just because I'm from the same city as him? I like he has to be better at calls. He stinks at calls. He stinks on shows.
Yeah, I'm just saying he's one of your friends. I mean, this is
he's
best
not my
friend.
Well, he is my friend. 508. Hit us with it. 508. Bang. Bang. All right, nothing. Continue.
So I booked in an Aussie Minifan show. An Aussie Minifan show. So Jackson and Jamie and I are convening Sunday night our time. So that's early Sunday morning your time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I won't air it live while we record, especially because we're on Australian internet, so it could be unfortunate. So yeah, but we'll release it on Sunday. It'll be there for your drive home from Sacco. It'll be there on Sunday morning.
508. Let's give it a take two. 508.
508.
You're on with the stallion. Hi. Hello.
Kirk,
5008.
blind Mike. All right.
All right, good call. Jake's on the line again. Do you want
No, I'm
to
not
try
taking Jake's call. No,
him?
just drop Jake. What?
Okay. I said we
Just
could
drop
try to
Jake.
prank him.
No, I'm sick of Jake. He doesn't even listen to the main show.
Yeah, and he's
Although,
just
have you got him onto it recently, or is it still just?
no, he listened. Like now, okay, so there's two paths for people. You somehow figure out about this show, and then something involves you somehow, and you listen to one episode, and then there's two paths. One, you keep listening, and then you could either hate the show and continue to hate listen, or you like the show, and a month later you're like, you have a network show. Jake's on that path where he just like took the hater position, and he listens so diehard now just to hate it, which makes no sense to me. Like you have to love the show first to hate it, you know?
Well, I respect him cutting out all the steps in between.
Yeah, I
Is there a
guess.
caller? I think there's a caller there.
No, nothing.
No, just hearing voices. All right. So let's move on to Wednesday. We had Tim and Canton in there, and I don't think Peltz and Tim and Canton were the best 1-2. It did feel like retirees week, but I don't want to knock Tim and Canton because he is, the all-time greatest Minifan. I wonder though how, say, a newer Minifan might have felt, like the people like your faxes or your PRCs that have started listening in the last sort of year, where Tim and Canton has, been in the background for the last year. He's had a new job. He's had health concerns. He's been looking after his kids. We know he's a very strict father. He runs a autocratic household, his way or the highway kind of thing. So he's had his hands full. But I wonder how a newer Minifan thought of him, because unless you held him in the reverence that you do, John, or I do, or your Mama K's, the OG Minifans, then you might think that was a pretty bad appearance out of context.
I have to thank Tim for kind of saving me. Came in with definitely a much worse game than King of the Decade, so he did save me there. But he also did break Mike with that game.
That was a terrible game. It was just so bad.
I loved it because it was insanely creepy. And
it was so bad.
Mike.
I think time stopped the first time I watched the show when it was on. Like, it's just like, I thought I was just stuck in this vortex of a bad game that would never end.
Yeah.
And then when I went back and did my usual re-listen of the show, I just forwarded that 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But listening to it live, that 20 minutes felt like about 6 hours. It was just woefully bad.
It was a game with the specific purpose. Like, the joke was that it's creepy as fuck. And I don't think that translates well to the audience. It may have translated well to the people involved, but obviously it didn't to Mike. He hated it. He clammed right. I love when Mike clams up like that.
But also, what was...
What do you mean? What, like, I don't know. I was in the fucking club. I don't know.
That's true. But what was like funny about it was if anyone else had brought a game that, like, if Kane had brought that same game, they would have tore him to shreds. That have said he was creepy, that have called the police, that have said how bad he was. But because it's Tim and Canton, they kind of gave him a free pass, which I think is deserved. Like, I'm not arguing with that, but if we're calling a spade, which Kirk likes to do, then that was objectively terrible. I did notice on Tuesday's show that a caller called in and asked Dave Cullinane about his father-in-law, and he said no, he didn't want to talk about it. And you could tell there was something there where his family or his wife or somebody has said, we don't like it when this stuff used to come up on the show.
I mean, that's a guarantee. Like, I think that's the whole point of that bit, is that he got told that, and now Kirk's just picking at that scab.
Absolutely. And he, Carl did what any smart person on the show would do. You just start lying. Like, blind Mike lies all the time. Now, when they ask him a question, I don't know, or make up a fake name, or, it's like the, who was the guy that Steve Robinson was sharing an Airbnb with Ethan, or
No. Oh shit. Matthias. It was like Matthias or something.
yes, and it just turned out to be a made up name. Like, so
I think the whole story was made up. Like Steve got so good to the point where like he from point zero he started lying.
mm,
Oh, here it is. Elias.
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 Right.
I said Elias.
So you can tell there's a bit of pressure coming for Carl at home to keep his personal stuff out of it, which is fine. I mean, everyone has, you need to delineate that stuff. But it was just interesting. I thought it was the first time we really saw from Carnate on the show where it's like, back off. He can't talk about this. Also, Carl had an all-time bad moment. Again, see, I'm sorry, this thoughtless Dave Cullinane where he just doesn't give a shit about the Minifans, doesn't give a shit about the show. And this is why at Plymouth, when Kirk said, oh, look at how small that television is, Carl just shrugged his shoulders and said it'll be okay. Because he has an idea for the live show and he just tells Kirk on air the idea.
Yeah.
So you just spoil it.
Yeah.
What a dopey fuck.
That was a wild move.
I mean, like even John here, who is not a smart guy, can tell how dumb it is. Look at the reaction I got out of him.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have even done that.
This goes back to the fact that it's like Kirk constantly tells Montante ideas, and like Montante is known to just tell everybody everything. It's like you guys try to keep state secrets, but the guys who the guys who they tell, it's like Montante like takes pride, I think, in that.
So no calls. Would love to hear from you.
I mean, I basically, Jake, the only caller we have that doesn't hang up after 5 minutes if they don't get answered is Jake. So I just answered and put him on mute. I don't think he understands what's going on though.
Okay. Luke McKay has asked, did the golf tournament happen? I'd love to hear from anyone that played golf today with Montante.
Yeah, give him a call.
Can't you call him?
I could try and call out, but he won't know the number. So you could attach your phone anyways.
I can't attach my phone because I don't have my Rode here, but I'll call him anyway. I'll just do it on
the bachelor pad, the cheap mansion.
Yep, I am indeed.
A lot of people want to see your feet real bad. That's on the Patreon, folks.
Bad luck.
You got to pay there.
It's actually pretty good just sticking in the mic like this. Who needs a producer anyway?
It honestly does work. It's just that they can't hear the other person. That's the only issue.
Well, they can't hear you, but no, Montante doesn't care if he hears you or not.
No, definitely not.
Just ask me and I'll ask him anything you want to know. Oh, he didn't answer. Well, he's probably at the Steve show.
Yeah, he's out with Daver and stuff. Daver.
He's out with Daver.
Yeah, Daver's there. He's staying with Daver. Montante was up there Thursday night. No one loves a good live show like Montante. The guy likes to party,
Guy does like to party. So yes, like to hear about the golf day. A couple of other things that jumped out at me from the show. I found Kirk's discussion with Justin around Justin's grandma was disturbing. And this is not a new thing for Men is Live, but Kirk has a very strange relationship with women. It is 100% normal what Justin said. If you come from a close family, there's no reason you can't, one of your best first friends be a grandparent. They should be babysitting you. They should be looking after you.
I think that's a very philosophic take.
What do you mean?
Because it's like everyone was watched by either their grandma. Like, so he's basically saying that person you're really just stuck with when you're a kid, that kind of is your first best friend.
No, but you can be friends with them. Like, I'm sure there are more relationships. Maybe it sounds from your relationship with your grandparents that you didn't have that friendship element to it. Whereas, it seems like Justin and his grandma really clicked and had a great time. Did you say caller?
Yeah.
Just one second. Let me get. So we'll take the call.
All right, 587.
587. Hi. Hi there.
Fellas.
Hi.
Owner
fans are really happy.
You're echoing. You're echoing, you moron.
Turn your radio off.
Turn your radio off. Or your YouTube.
I don't have the radio on.
All right,
Whatever. Just go on, Boner. Just spit it out, dummy.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Listen, I'm glad that someone on the network is, holding the fort down.
Yeah, we made sure that this was going to happen no matter what because I knew that they weren't having a live mic in the minute.
Well, what an abomination!
It's not exactly. It's
been
not
all
exactly
around.
true, John, but whatever.
It's true.
Like, hey,
Did you blame John? It's John's fault.
Menners, you usually sniff this out.
Yeah, it is. It's John's fault. I'm available. I'm here.
He's saying
I'm
about
here.
the taco show. You usually sniff this out, the ticket sales.
I'm talking about the thought, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been given any of that information at the moment, and I don't want to be a show hater. You know, if they get half the, they're making enough money now. He's going to sell the case for $2 million or something. Like a few extra tickets at Soccer doesn't matter. I mean, people forget Montante's pitch was to earn Barstool $4,000. That's what his big pitch was. He was going to earn them $4,000. Like that, Boner Jams could set up a lemonade store outside his house and make more money than Montante would have.
Yeah.
Like, what's Montante to do? Sell his ass down by the shore, or what?
He wouldn't make $4,000 doing that. I can tell you that much.
What else you got, Boner Jam?
I'm just saying. How about the tenor of the show this week?
I didn't hear that.
It's been dead.
Yeah, it's a real concern with David. It's just an average. Yeah, the line's pretty bad, but I get what Boner's saying. It's like I said, we're just in mediocre period at the moment.
313.
The 313. Let's take these calls. It is a call.
313.
Hi there.
Hi.
So I listened to the episode earlier this week. Sounds like Kirk's going to be selling the case or doing like a Netflix show or whatever. I know he says like basically every 6 months he's going to quit, but I was just curious what your thoughts were. Do you think we're going to be like having KMS anymore or what?
Good question.
So I don't think KMS will go away. It will never go away. And I don't think Barstool will just let it stop. But we could have periods where Kirk says there's no show for a month because he's on the road working with Netflix or Amazon Prime, or could even be longer than a month. It could be 2 months. But, these productions are pretty lean. So I can't, don't think it'll be like, oh, we're not going to get any shows for a couple of years. But, this is where, I might have to step up. If there's a month off shows, do I do KMS remotely? Do I get some contract where I fly over and, do a couple of months of shows? I don't know, but I think we certainly will have periods where there's no shows. And honestly, if we're going to get Carl completely checked out, and Kirk was kind of checked out this week, then maybe they're better off just saying, you know what, we'll just take a month off, do our case shit, and then we'll come back and we'll really throw it in, throw ourselves into KMS again.
It's kind of a win-win situation, especially because it's like a true crime thing that if that's your moneymaker now, and then you have a show like this, you can really go, like you said, a month without it and be like, I'm focused on the case this month. And doing a true crime thing it is a lean production. So it's like, there's not a lot of fucking extra work you have to do. It's either you dial in or you don't. So he could just pepper in a show here and there as we go.
Yeah, absolutely. Up to, the odd show from the road. Maybe I'm hosting and Kirk comes on as a guest for a segment.
Yeah, but if the case is getting like this kind of publicity like we're talking about now, and that becomes the breadwinner for Kirk, like I don't think the show will end. I think it's going to just be like less consistent and just peppered in here and there.
So then I guess, if I were to start a Patreon, how much would you pay for it if you would at all?
I mean, me personally, anything.
Yeah, but
like I would be, but $10. If you have a Patreon that's more than $10, I won't pay for it. If you have one that's less than $10, I would have paid $10 for it because I just
Okay,
expect it to
interesting.
be $9.99. Like
Yeah, that's
$9.99
sort of
is okay with that price always, no matter what. You
okay.
always have 10
All right. And what would people want for that? Would they want like 2 men live a week? Would that be the sort of John Dory?
I think
So,
that's it's a tactic we're a practice or trying out with Meeting the Minds right now. I like 2 days a week. 2 days a week's a good strategy.
not like meeting the minds. Just anyone ever taught anyone anything.
Speaking of, let's check in on Jake. If he's not ready, we'll just nope, he's not ready. So we'll just put him
Don't
back.
worry, bothered. All right. Any more calls?
Nothing right now.
All right. So I just want to go back then to Kirk's weird relationship with women. And I'm sorry, I'm just not going to let this go because it just keeps coming up in every fucking aspect of the show. Right. And, it plays out in front of us. He grew up with an overbearing father and with 2 brothers. And he's this poor woman who was shunted in the corner, although it's wild that she never sucked
That's wild.
Peter's dick. Like, I don't know.
I'm not a big fan of like hand on the head type of stuff, but I mean,
At some point, you just got to intervene. But not, not even for a special occasion, birthdays, anniversaries, that kind of thing. Like, so,
but these old birds like that, they know how to they know how to keep a secret like that. So she just might not have told them, and then every anniversary she popped it in there.
or maybe she was more into anal or something, but she was just like,
see, that's what
she didn't want to tell.
No.
She was like, oh no, I don't suck his cock, but I let him, hit
Yeah,
me from behind a few times
like
a year.
on top of a public garage, like for everyone to see.
Yeah,
But
yeah. They've got other weirder shit.
yeah,
You
like
know.
yeah, that makes sense. I could see it. I'm telling you, that's how it's like they had weird lines in the sand.
Yeah. Like Peter puts a gimp mask on me, and
Yeah, it's like
whatever.
the mafia not eating pussy. It's like, what are you talking about? It's not. It shows that you're not dominant enough. You fucking losers, go eat pussy and see how fucking awesome it makes you feel.
Absolutely, munch. So back to the weird relationship though, like with the way he reacted to Justin having a close relationship with his grandmother was not normal, and obviously, again, no one in studio is prepared to back up Justin because they're all soft as baby shit. But what Justin said was completely normal, and I'm sure there are lots of people that have close relationships with their grandmothers, young men, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Right.
And I just I feel sorry for Justin being made to feel like that was wrong.
My grandma was 100% my best friend. I love that bitch, dude. I loved her. She was
My
awesome.
grandmother's still alive. She's 96.
Really? Yeah. My grandma was awesome, dude. Awesome.
So yeah, I just wanted to back up Justin. I think Kirk's relationship with women, and then I know he's joking. I know Kirk is joking, but he says a lot of things about women that are funny, but I think there's a ring of truth to it. And then I think, if I'm a female member of Kirk's family and I hear these things, like, what is the joke and what is got a shred of seriousness to it? Like, I don't know. It's to me, it's just concerning.
It is a weird thing to tell your son.
What?
Like, at no points in time should be talking to your son about blowjobs and stuff. I'm sorry. Like, even your dad, like, I don't think that's cool, even when your dad does it. Like, I hate dads who are like, yeah, I'm out here trying to get my son some pussy.
So you don't want to hear your parents talk about sex ever, do you?
Never.
I think that's the issue.
Never.
And I remember when my dad died, my mum told me basically like they had the sex the day he died. Like she said to me like he was virile right to the end.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I didn't want to know.
I know.
Like, I'm happy for him. Like, I'm glad he had sex the day he died because
yes.
In hindsight, I'm glad, and maybe actually that's given me some comfort.
Yeah, but
Maybe I am glad
you don't want to hear that. You just want to think that it's going good for them.
Yes,
it's like you're hoping the best for them, but you don't want that news. You don't subscribe to that newspaper.
No, not at all.
Because there's no reason you should. Something Freud said has to be the reason why, and that's that.
Yeah, it's just not into it.
No.
All right. Well, I don't think there are any more callers coming through.
No, nothing.
Nothing. There's a few things in the chat here. Don the Jeweler points out Uncle Ginny loved going down on people.
Mhm.
All right, so now's your chance. If you want to put in some questions in the chat, we're about to wrap this up. It's been
I watched a documentary on this little
Oh.
town right here, Port Arthur. Port Arthur. The mass
Massive-
shooting down there.
yeah, Martin Bryant. What
Yeah.
was that on?
YouTube. Carm told me about it. She
Nice.
loves Australian
And-
crime. Loves it.
Has
Yeah,
she heard
so-
Fairground fuck ups?
Yes, I did tell her about that. And there's like that Netflix documentary about that stuff now too.
Mm. Why
Which
didn't
they didn't
fucking buy
credit
my
you.
podcast?
Yeah, they didn't credit you for
Yes.
it, which is why I
No, did
I
they?
boycotted it and didn't watch it.
Mm. But what happened with the end of Port Arthur was, it was
She
this huge massacre. 30 or 40 people died. And then
What was the Australian serial killer's name? Ivan
Ivan Milat, the backpacker murderer. You're on mute.
what was the
Yeah.
other what was the other serial killer's name from Australia? Ivan
Milat, yeah, the backpacker
Milat,
murderer.
yeah. Ivan Milat, yeah.
But after that Port Arthur massacre, Australia basically was able to get rid of most of the automatic weapons and stuff in
You got
society.
it. Oh, really? Because of that shit?
Yeah, they did a buyback. So the government said, we'll buy them all back to
Yeah.
get. And I know Americans couldn't deal with a concept like that. But anyway,
587. That would never.
You want your kids to shoot each other.
For their
You know what I love doing now is you just go on Twitter and just find videos of kids accidentally killing themselves or other people in America.
587.
Can you get?
Not gonna work. Sorry.
Hi.
Oh, they hung up. Quick check in on Jake, and nope.
Nana.
Do you want to talk to Jake?
Hi.
Do you want to?
No,
talk?
get rid of him.
Okay.
So questions from the chat. Kane has asked, he'd like to hear more about Kirk's weird relationship with women. I mean, it's self-evident, he talks about women in a very peculiar way. He always puts them down. He's one of those guys that's used to just yucking it up with other guys. What?
I don't know about that.
He's often making jokes about them.
Legit keeps them at a level playing field, and by level playing field, we're talking about a Kirk Minahan level playing field.
But I think that's a simplistic way of looking at it. Because
I'm a simplistic guy.
Because basically, white men have had so much privilege that you got to even it up a bit. And okay, I'm not giving you more examples because I don't want to upset Kirk and talk about. But if you listen to the way he talks about women, he has a strange relationship with them. I know he's married. I know he's got a daughter. I'm not saying he's a monster or does anything.
Some guys are
bad.
Some guys are just weird around chicks.
Yes, exactly. And he grew up at a time. He grew up at the same time as me, where there was a bit more of a healthy delineation between the sexes, and it's all mixed up now. So that's all. Yeah, that's all.
You ever watch Revenge of the Nerds these days? Because it's a very hard rewatch these days because it's very rapey.
Well, there's a lot of films like that. I saw Dead Poet Society, and there's that scene where he kisses the girl that's asleep on the couch, which is it's not like he put his hands. He didn't put his he didn't put his hands down her pants or anything, but
still
not okay. And
that's your married loved one, or even a fit. That's just weird to kiss someone when they're asleep. It's your
and exactly, and they don't not together or something. And then what are the other movie like American Pie? There's a couple of bits in that that are a bit rapey.
That's a good question.
Good question. Menace, thoughts on the trailer of the Australian version of The Office? Thank you, Jet. I'm a huge Office fan, massive Office fan, both the UK and the American. The trailer of the Aussie version of The Office didn't land with me, but I love the US Office and the UK Office so much. It's going to be hard. But I said to a friend of mine who's an actor, actually has a good show called I've forgotten the name now. Anyway, the point is, I said years ago that the Australians should do an Aussie version of The Office.
Well, they had what was that, Superstore or whatever it was? That was kind of their version.
Yeah.
That's probably why it hasn't been made till now.
I like Superstore. I quite like Superstore.
Yeah, it's a pretty funny show. I have a theory. Like, why do people get so mad about that thing? Like, there's an Australian Office. Like, why would you hate it from the get? You know, rather than wait and see if it's good and then hate. You know, I don't understand people who hate things just because they're making an Australian Office, and then they're like they hate it right out of the bat. It's like, what if it's good? It's like, what if the new Lion King?
I'm surprised there are not more. Like, I'm surprised like there's not a a Dutch office or Mexican office and a African office.
Yeah, that's I never understood that take. It's like, oh, I'm so mad they're making the new Lion King. It's like, what if it's a fucking heater and we all love it? Like, don't hate it off the go.
All right, BBR Network question: did Mutt and Shanders split? I don't know, but the clips I saw from the live show at Mohegan Sun, it's now got to a point where I just can't talk about it anymore. I mean, how often can you say how much of an
Gronk
idiot
was
Mutt
there,
is?
right?
Who?
Was Gronk really at the Mutt show?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I saw a video of Gronk being at the. Was that a Photoshop? There's no way that was a Photoshop.
No way he had Gronk on his show. Absolutely no way.
Swear to God.
But it's so sad now, and I'm joking.
Gronk was there. That's why there was like a line. There was, yeah. Gronk
so did Gronk go on the show though?
Yeah, with Mutt, which is like, that's great.
Point is,
no, see, you can't say shit. There was Lions taking pictures with Mutt.
But did you see there was no one there to watch the show?
Yeah, there was.
Okay.
Yeah, there was.
If Gronk was there, I didn't watch it.
I know
if
you
Gronk
don't
was there,
but
but all I'm saying is the clips I saw were so sad. The way Shanders just walked all over Mutt. It was embarrassing.
Yeah. It was there were people lining up for picture. Like, okay, so you're gonna do a live show at a sports book. You need something like that to pull people in. Like, now there's people lining up to get pictures because it's just a random occurrence. They're at the casino while Mutt's doing a show with Gronk. Now they're gonna sit down and watch it. Like, that's how you pull people, because there are people at a casino. You just need to pull those people in, you know. I think that's actually a smart idea. That's hard to do. You need to make sure you have fucking stars on hand like Gronk that Boston people care about.
So apparently he was interviewed for 5 minutes. Everyone's saying elf minutes. Fuck off. Like, the fact that I don't know Gronk was on his stupid show. I mean,
it's really
eat shit. The fact is, Mutt embarrassed himself with Shanders. Shanders is walking all over him the way I've walked all over Don and Luke and the other guy for BWP forever, and I'm walking all over you again. And Mutt is embarrassing. Portnoy will see those clips of his and Shanders and think, do I want this loser at Barstool? That's the problem. It's so bad now. Portnoy might be like, this is brand damage.
I've been back in on Mutt since the first time he went on the Unnamed show. Back in on him. I mean, hard. I think he has I think he has them right where like you want them, but every day he doesn't move towards going to Barstool, it dwindles away like sand through the hourglass.
Kirk has just tweeted out, last line of the movie, am I a hero? No, I just hate communism. Luke, get fucked. The fact that I didn't watch Mutt show is good for my credibility. I have better things to do.
No, thank you. Thank you for your service, actually.
Yeah, and I didn't say I watched it either.
I'm surprised Justin didn't come in here and just turn it off because we were talking about. Remember when he did that to Cullinane because they were talking about the Jerry Callahan show? He came into a show and ended it. That was the wildest move ever. I would think I was on that show.
Alrighty.
In with Jake real quick.
No, please. No more. No more Jake. No more Jake. It's not meeting of the minds. It's not one of your stupid shows.
Jake.
All right, everyone. You have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning into Manners Live. Luke, go and watch the interview with Gronk again. Clearly, it's a big part of your life. I want to thank Blood Fart Network. Boner Jams, great call. Thank you. Thanks, Luke McKay. Thank you, BWP. Kirkster, thank you. Mikey Grab Bags, thank you. BWP. Pat Stink again. Don the Jeweler.
Why you
Charlie Griffin, thank you very much.
You good at this TikTok calling people out thing. I see you practicing every
Thank
show.
you. Absolutely not. Thank you, Charlie Griffin. Thank you, Andy Mayo. Thank you, Steve Calagrides. Thank you, Kane is Able. Thank you, Jet Favre. Thank you, the BBR Network. Thank you, John, for producing.
All right.
Thank you to. It's Late Night with Mad Manners. I'm your host. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Thanks, Freddie. Are we still live?
I think
we're still live on the
We are still live. I wanted to make sure you didn't want to thank anybody else.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Freddie Lynn. I'm just doing them in the chat anyway.
Yeah, go right ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, thank you, Brian Atkinson, better known as Vodka. Thank you, Elias. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, B. Thank you, Arceda. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Joe the Axe Sanders. Thank you, Tim Smith.
Tim Riggles, he's our background.
Thank you, Tim Riggles. Thank you, Kirk Minahan. And you can end the show now. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great weekend. It's Late Night with Mad Manners. I'm your host. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.